Panther fans, it's been a while, but this is indeed what it feels like to win. Now, yeah, I know it's only one game, but there's a lot we should be feeling good about, especially after our big NFC showdown became one giant beatdown, courtesy of Carolina. Falcons had no idea what hit him at Bank of America Stadium. From the start, Bryce Young and company came to play. First quarter, Young taking matters into his own feet. After the play breaks down, he doesn't panic. He just goes right to the end zone. It's a 4-yard score. Panthers up 7-0. Second quarter now, again it's Young, this time doing it with his arm. Tetairoa McMillan. These two are becoming fast friends. 21-yard gain. T-Mac 3 catches, 48 yards. It will lead to a field goal. Carolina up 10-0 at the break. Start of the second half, the Panthers D starts to buckle down. Michael Penix Jr. picked off. Shaw Smith-Wade going the other way, 13 yards to the house. Carolina up 17-0. However, it would get even better. End of the quarter now, it's 20-0 Panthers. Penix again throwing. This time, Mike Jackson. Down the field he goes, a return of 54 yards. Eventually, they'd get him deep in Atlanta territory. Penix kept in check. He was sacked twice by Carolina's defense. Finished with just 172 yards passing. He was eventually benched. That pick eventually led to this. Fourth quarter, Rico Dowdle in for the score. That made it 27-0 Panthers. This despite the fact they only had 224 yards of offense. Zip ahead of the end of the game. Carolina closing in on a victory. Atlanta trying to avoid a shutout. However, Panthers defense not letting up. Lathan Ransom forces a fumble. Carolina jumps on it. This was the game they've been waiting for. Panthers take it 30-0. They get their first win of the season.
It felt great.
Mike?
All right, thanks, Gabe. Yep, Panther fans, it has been a while, but this is indeed what it feels like to win. Now, I know it's only one game, but there's a lot we should be feeling good about tonight, especially after our big NFC showdown became one giant beatdown, courtesy of Carolina. Falcons had no idea what hit him at Bank of America Stadium today. From the start, Bryce Young and company came to play. First quarter, Young taking matters into his own feet. After the play breaks down, he doesn't panic. He goes right to the end zone. It's a 4-yard score. Panthers up 7-0. Second quarter, again, it's Young. This time doing it with his arm. Tetairoa McMillan. Well, these two are becoming fast friends. 21-yard gain. T-Mac 3 catches, 48 yards. It lead to a field goal. Carolina up 10-0 at the break. Start of the second half, the Panthers D starting to buckle down. Michael Penix Jr. picked off. Shaw Smith-Wade going the other way. It's a touchdown. Carolina up 17-0. However, it would get better. End of the quarter. Now it's 20-0 Panthers. Penix again throwing it away. This time it's Mike Jackson. Down the field he goes, a return of 54 yards. Again, he gets brought down inside Atlanta territory. Penix kept in check. He was sacked twice by Carolina's defense, finished with 172 yards passing. He was eventually benched. That pick would eventually lead to this. Fourth quarter, Rico in for the score. That made it 27-0 Panthers. This despite the fact the offense only had 224 yards. Zip ahead of the end of the game. Carolina closing in on a victory. Atlanta looking to avoid a shutout, but no! The Panthers defense not letting up. Lathan Ransom forces a fumble. Carolina jumps on it. And this is the game they've been waiting for. They take it 30-0. It's their first win of the season.
It felt great. It felt great.
That's what they got to do. Here are the overall stats for the black and blue. They don't exactly jump off the page. Panthers only 114 yards passing, 110 yards on the ground at 30 attempts. You want to mention, as we said before, Tetairoa McMillan, another solid game as he continues to build momentum here in Carolina. 3 catches, 48 yards. Did have a drop on a screen pass, but no one is perfect. No one that is, except our dynamic duo. For more on Carolina's offense, we send it back to the bank to Joey and Casey.
Yeah, Mike, we're here from
It is easy to get caught up in the excitement of a 30-0 win. Carolina played great today against Atlanta, and they deserve to feel good tonight. But just as Bryce Young said, that 24-hour rule needs to apply to wins just as it does to losses. Fact is, this Carolina Panthers team still faces plenty of questions as well as an uphill climb. They dominated today, but what about next week? I'm looking at you, Bryce. This time out, you were mistake-free. Can you do it again against New England? That remains to be seen. The Patriots today coughed it up 5 times in a loss to the Steelers. They're now 1-2, just like Carolina's now 1-2. But to get to 2-2, the Panthers will have to do something they've achieved only once in the Young era, and that is win back-to-back games. Young can't take 2 steps back after taking a giant step forward today. In the NFL, that is just not how it works. Certainly not. All right, straight ahead, Ryan Blaney is moving on in the NASCAR playoffs. I'll show you how he got it done today in New Hampshire. Then we'll take you back out to Bank of America Stadium, talking to Panthers rookie receiver Tetairoa McMillan on getting his first victory in the NFL. And coming up in Quick Six, we're handing out our MVP award for today's game. Who's getting it for Carolina? We'll tell you. CSL continues. The round of 12 underway in NASCAR. Things getting going today in New Hampshire. Lap 118. We were going 3 wide for the lead near turn 2. However, we also had some excitement in the back. Shane Van Gisbergen, Brad Keselowski making unwanted contact. 5 cars involved. When the dust settled, at that point, they declared Chase Briscoe the leader. He was the driver of the 19. He led for 19 laps, a distant third from Joey Logano. 147 laps in front for Joey. However, as we all know, it's about who crosses the finish line first. And today, that was Ryan Blaney, the number 12, making his move around Logano with 73 laps to go. Blaney would lead for a whole total of 116 laps. He would hold off a pesky Josh Berry and hold on for the victory. It's his 3rd win of the season and 2nd in the last 5 races. More importantly, he's moving on to the round of 8.
Emotions that are going through.
Hey, back on Carolina Sports Live, and for the first time this season, we're talking about a Carolina win. The Panthers did a number on the Falcons today. This despite only 224 yards from the offense. Bryce Young got the scoring started in the first with a touchdown. That made it 7-0. Second half is when the defense really put their stamp on this one. It started right here. Michael Penix Jr. picked off Shaw Smith-Wade going the other way. 13 yards to the house. Carolina up 17-0. However, it would get better. End of the quarter. It's now 20-0 Panthers. Penix again throwing it away. This time, Mike Jackson. Penix kept in check all day. He was eventually benched. 30-0. Panthers take this one in dominant fashion. They get their first victory of the year. Michael Sett back here with you. You know, there was plenty of heroes from today's game for Carolina, but front and center has to be the entire defense. This is a unit that's heard plenty of criticism for months on end. Today they decided to do something about it. For more on their efforts, we rejoin Joey and Casey back at the bank.
Thank you, Mike. Yeah, we are just coming back off talking.
Back on Carolina Sports Live, the newest Top 5 Coaches poll is out, and it looks exactly like last week's version. It's all the same teams, with Ohio State leading the way. It is worth noting South Carolina is no longer ranked. The Gamecocks were 23rd in the Week 4 poll. They're now off the board after a loss last night to Missouri. Also missing from the new poll are both Clemson and North Carolina. That's not a shock to anybody. What is shocking, though, is how bad it's gotten for both programs. Yesterday, UNC went out and got clobbered by UCF. They can at least make the excuse they were on the road. Clemson, yeah, not so much. The Tigers at home were beaten by Syracuse 34-21. Clemson is now 1-3 this season. That's the worst start ever in the Dabo Swinney era. Speaking of Dabo, a lot of the blame has been pointed directly at him. We're not sure if his seat is getting hot, but I do know he's got to be feeling all sorts of pressure right now.
Obviously, an incredibly disappointing.
Clemson does get a bye this coming week. They're at UNC on the 4th. Switch to soccer. Charlotte FC also had a tough Saturday, but I imagine they are in much better spirits than the Tigers. Now, yes, it was a loss, but come on here. It was the first time they didn't win in 10 matches. The streak had to end sometime. I'm sure Dean Smith is glad the setback happened now and not in the playoffs. Speaking of that, the Crown have just 3 games left to go in the regular season. Apparently, Charlotte is tied for 3rd with New York City FC. That's the same team that just beat them yesterday. Dean Smith says they've got to shake off the defeat and finish strong.
It's one of them where...
That's the spirit. Charlotte's next game is Saturday. The Crown take on Montreal at Bank of America Stadium.
All right, joining us, Carolina Sports Live's Mike Lissette, to talk about the Carolina Panthers' hometown debut. Mike, are we back?
Well, I want to point out that not once in that clip did you actually mention the word Falcons. So I'm convinced that clip might have been used from any other point.
No,
I don't know.
Mikey.
This team has been together. You guys are just waiting to use that clip just for this specific instance. I see no proof that you guys called it. You guys were just waiting to use that clip and hoping that, I don't know. I mean, you guys are on and you work so hard. I can't watch you every second that you're on the air. So how am I not supposed to believe that this was from 3 years ago? I don't know.
Okay.
You're going to trust
You're
and
gonna
verify.
have to trust us, yeah.
Trust and verify, Michael. Now listen, I don't want to rain on the parade because we're all celebrating. We should, and I love that we completely shut down Atlanta. But I am surprised Atlanta didn't at least get 3 points. They didn't at least get a field goal. So what has us asking the question this morning, Mike, is were the Panthers that good, or were the Falcons that terrible?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think the Falcons really played a bad game. Michael Penix Jr. was bad. He was benched. But you got to give credit to the Carolina defense. This is a unit that's heard its fair share of criticism over the last 2 years. And yesterday they did something about it. I mean, that 30-0 victory was powered by the defense, not the offense. And what really made me happy was seeing Atlanta trying to avoid the shutout late in the fourth quarter and Carolina's defense saying, we're going to do this. You got that turnover. That was good. But to your point, this is not as great as I think Panthers fans want it to be. That said, Panther fans should feel very good on this victory Monday.
Well, of course. You did mention this was defense all day there on Sunday. Offense only getting about 240-ish yards. So what does the team need to do to build on this win, but just be better on offense? Because you never know, they're not going to have a team that's as bad as the Falcons all the time.
Well, but to your point, the Patriots are pretty bad. That's who Carolina has next week. They had 5 turnovers against the Steelers yesterday. So Carolina's defense should be, licking their lips, getting excited about this one, knowing that, hey, this is a team that we can wreak havoc on too. That said, though, the offense has got to be better. I mean, Bryce Young scored that early touchdown. You see him there celebrating, but numbers just don't eye pop. I never got the feeling, especially in the first half, that Carolina was going to run away with this because of their offense. There were times where I thought the Falcons should have been able to get back in the game. Carolina left opportunities on the board and they didn't capitalize. I think they've got to just get more consistency from the offense. And that's a tough thing to do. In the Bryce Young era, this team has only had 1 win streak. That was last year. So the challenge now is to, as Ike Ekwonu will go around saying in the locker room, keep stacking them. And they have yet to prove they can do that.
All right, well, talking about keep stacking, you mentioned the Patriots team that we have to coming up, going on the road there. But after the Patriots, you're home against the Dolphins. You got the Cowboys and the Jets. So I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4 chances at win. Could that be a win streak there? Because those are 4 winnable games that the Panthers look like they did yesterday and add a little bit of offense.
It could be, and it should be. I mean, you talk about the Dolphins team, they're struggling. The Cowboys are always a mess. The Jets can't figure things out. This is an opportunity for Carolina to really reel something together. But can they do it? Can they play consistent football? And this all comes back to Bryce Young. We've seen him have his moments, but in order for him to take that next step, he's got to make the moments his reality, his state of being in the NFL. And I'm not saying that I doubt he can do it, but he's got to prove to me that he can do it, which is yet to happen so far in his NFL career.
It was nice to see a couple of little highlight matchup moments between Bryce Young and T-Mac, which, hang on, Julian, what's his full name?
Tataroa McMillan. Come on now.
I feel like he needs to be a wrestler every time you say that. So, there were some flashes, right, which was really great. So if you're Canales today, as they continue to celebrate and they're on a high, what are you looking at in the film? What do you try to string together? Like you said, if we can make this stackable, if we can make a couple of wins in a row, who are you working with outside of just those two?
Well, again, the running attacks got to be more consistent. Chuba had an okay game. Didn't cross 100 yards, though. You want to see that. Rico's still getting his feet wet. I mean, the fact of the matter is the offensive line was in flux last week, so that might have had something to do with it. Just continued play from the receivers to get more guys involved. Obviously, Tataroa McMillan was great, but you want to see consistency from everyone. You just want to see the ball move down the field and not stop and settle for field goals, which they did yesterday a couple of times. You want to see them go all the way and punch into the end zone and not be reliant on the defense to set up the offense like it did last week and like it did to an extent a little bit yesterday.
All right, Mike, we're going to be building on this 1 win. We're going to keep stacking them. I like what you said. We will see you tonight on Carolina Sports Live at 11.